welcome to my first data log. My name is Norik. These will be videos of information about technologies and the history found in the Halo universe. For each subject, I'll do an overall introduction to the project, followed by more specific videos on each individual item, such as today's introduction will be an overall look at the Mjolnir powder salt armour, but will be followed by videos looking at each class of armour. For example, Mark 4, 5, etc. etc. So with all that said, let's get into this. Mjolnir armour was the brainchild of Dr. Catherine Halsey, as she led the R&D of the powder salt armour alongside the Spartan 2 project, although this was not the first attempt at powder salt armour by humanity. The materials group of the UNSC Navy first attempted to create powered exoskeletons in 2512, to enhance soldiers' capabilities in combat. In the end, they created 3 iterations, the Mark 1, 2 and 3. Unfortunately, these were all failures, as issues with powering the suits and the sheer size of them, especially in the case of the Mark 1 being more of a human-powered defense structure rather than an armoured suit, made it impossible, at least relatively so, to find them a practical place on the battlefield, and many were condemned to use in Reach's titanium mines. Okay, now, moving on to the Spartan program, Halsey designed new armour to enhance her super soldiers' already impressive combat prowess. She acknowledged the importance of the previous exoskeleton prototypes, but generally went all the way back to redesigning the entire concept of powered assault armour. For example, instead of using traditional gears and pistons run by electric motors to move and operate the armour, Mjolnir would use a reactive liquid metal crystal. When electricity is passed through this material, its structural properties change and can be manipulated. This would increase the movement speed and strength of the wearer, as well as meaning the suit wouldn't need a metal frame, drastically slimming down the suit's profile. This layer would be overall about 80% of the huge cost of Mjolnir, which was comparable to a UNSC destroyer. Underneath the armoured bodysuit is a gel layer which would moderate body temperature and could be pressurized to protect the wearer from high G-forces and impacts, but overpressurization of the gel layer could cause the suit's pressure seal to be broken and even health damage to the wearer. The suit was operated by a neural interface on the back of the user's skull to link the armour to the brain, giving much faster response time, and make it so the suit moves the pilot rather than the pilot moving the suit, giving much higher operating potential. In fact, the suit was so responsive, only augmented pilots could operate the Mjolnir suit without having their bodies severely injured or even resulting in the suit killing them by enhancing any twitch or movement. Other systems like biofoam ports, or in later models built-in biofoam injectors, can be used to temporarily treat life-threatening wounds in combat without removal of the armour. The helmet would contain various information via the heads-up display, giving the wearer constant battlefield information or equipment status. For example, while holding a firearm, the suit's sensors in the fingers will pick up information such as ammo count and weapon type. The helmet also had solar-powered lighting and an oxygen supply for use in vacuum, as well as various filters for operations in toxic zones. The revolutionary power source was what made the new Mjolnir platform so successful. A miniature fusion reactor provides power to all suit systems, making the suit not have to rely on being corded to a reactor or staying in range of a wireless power supply. Finally, the most outer layer of the armour being the titanium nanocomposite bodysuit and the heavy-duty titanium alloy plating. This mix of flexible nanocomposite and hard outer shell meant the wearer was heavily protected even at the joints where gaps in the plating had to be left to keep flexibility, arranged in such a way to prevent hyperextension of the joints such as elbows and knees in instances such as explosions or impacts. Later models would also have energy shields, which could soak up a few minutes of damage, minimizing exposure of the armour itself. The plating was covered in a refractive coating, which disperses heat or plasma fire, stopping it from burning directly through the titanium alloy. Next, we have Gen 2 Mjolnir. This next step in Mjolnir was developed after the Human Covenant War without Dr. Catherine Halsey. The suit follows the same design as the other variants of Mjolnir, but is faster and stronger. This new generation could also be piloted by humans who underwent much less extensive augmentations compared to the original Spartan 2s. These were named Spartan 4s. This made the Spartan 4 project much cheaper to augment humans, and also the armour was designed to be much easier to be mass-produced by outsourced private and military industries, once again cutting the costs of this particular Mjolnir platform. The armour was slimmer and created to rely much more on advanced technologies without affecting performance, and to close the power gap between the Spartan 2s and 4s. It is said that a Spartan 4 in Gen 2 Mjolnir is equal in combat to a Spartan 2 in Gen 1. Although the comparative success of Gen 2, many higher-ups in the Spartan Operations Division were not satisfied by the minimal improvements it had made over the Gen 1 platform, so the UNSC decided to manufacture the next generation of Mjolnir. The concept of Gen 3 Mjolnir was to incorporate what they had learned from the Gen 2 line, but incorporating it into the high performance and levels of protection given by Gen 1 armour. There is not much information about the Gen 3 systems, but it is safe to presume it has all the base features carried through both previous generations. Now that is the end of the log. I know it's a rather short one, but I will be going into deeper detail in future videos on every step of armour individually. Also, my apologies about any rough edits. I am very new to video editing and I am striving to expand my experience and skill while creating these videos. Please leave a like or comment, and if you want to see more videos, click subscribe and the bell icon to stay up to date. This has been Norik, signing off.